Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Living the Dream USA channel. And ഇന്ന് നമ്മളുടെ കൂടെ എന്താ പറയാ സെലിബ്രിറ്റീസ് എന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. ഇവർ രണ്ടുപേരും ലാസ്റ്റ് മന്തില് ഇവിടെ ലോക്കൽ ന്യൂസിലും ട്വിറ്ററിലും ഒക്കെ നിറഞ്ഞു നിന്ന രണ്ട് അപൂർവ സഹോദരങ്ങളാണ്. അവ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പരിചയപ്പെടാം. റയാൻ പാറപ്പുറം and Justin Parappuram.
Hey, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22 years old?
And I'm 18 years old.
18 years old. So, ഇദ്ദേഹം ഹൈസ്കൂൾ ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആണ്. ഇദ്ദേഹം കോളേജ് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആണ്.
ഇവിടെ ഹൈസ്കൂൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് +2 കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണ്. +2നെയാണ് ഇവിടെ ഹൈസ്കൂൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇത് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ്, നമ്മുടെ ഡിഗ്രി കഴിഞ്ഞു. Degree കഴിയുമ്പോഴുള്ള അല്ലേ? That's true, right?
So Ryan will explain. There is something sophomore. So what are the?
So the way that high school works in America is that we have 4 grades. First, we start off with the 9th grade, which we also here call freshman year, and then goes the 10th grade, which is the second most important year, which we call sophomores. And then comes 11th grade, which we call it juniors, and that is the most difficult year in your high school experience. In that year, you want to take your most difficult classes and courses and get your best test grades, just so that you can have all of those test grades ready on your report card to show to colleges when you apply to college at the end of your 11th grade. And then after you apply to college, you go into your 12th grade of high school, which we call your senior year, because that is your final and senior most year in high school. I just completed my senior year at my high school. This is my Cypress Woods high school diploma. It says the high school I graduated from and then the town, Cypress, Texas. Once you open it up, you will see on the left-hand side is an illustration of my high school. This is the entrance to my high school, so I would enter through there every single morning. And on the right-hand side, you will see my actual certificate from my school. My school name is here with my school emblem as well. And then my full name, Ryan Matthew Parappuram, has satisfactorily completed the course of school of graduation at Cypress Woods High School in the Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District. It says that it is a diploma and it has the official Texas state emblem seal at the very bottom. And again, it is signed by the superintendent of my entire school district, the principal of my personal school, and the president and secretary of all Texas state education.
പിച്ച വെച്ച നാള് മുതൽ, അതായത് നമ്മുടെ ആശാങ്കാളരി മുതൽ 12ാം ക്ലാസ് വരെ ഇവിടെ ക്ലാസ്സുകളുടെ ഒരു തുടർച്ചയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ പുള്ളി പറഞ്ഞത് റാൻ ഇനിയും അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യും. സോ ഫ്രം ഫസ്റ്റ് ഗ്രേഡ് ഫോർ ദ 18 years he has been studying. So why graduation a big celebration? Why his parents didn't have that kind of opportunity എന്നുള്ളത് he's going to explain. Once again, could you please tell us?
Yeah, so I'll start off with how graduation, or I guess my mom's high school experience was in India. So once she finished her high school schooling in India, there wasn't that much of a celebration. It wasn't really considered that big of an accomplishment. And right after she finished high school, there was no parties and no real proudness that her parents expressed to her. In fact, right after she finished high school, all she did was begin preparing for university, and then she went to university, completed 4 more years of schooling, and then went straight into the nursing field. There was no real celebration, and that's not really how it is in America. In fact, for many American citizens here, graduating high school is one of the biggest life accomplishments that one can complete. I would say that you start off in the elementary, and then you go into middle school and then high school, and you spend a solid 12 years studying with your same classmates and the same teachers almost every single year. And so when you get to high school and you complete those 4 hardest years of school, you're really kind of saying that you're done with school and that you're completed with it. Because only half of those students that complete high school tend to go on into university, and so that's why it's the biggest accomplishment for you finishing high school. So at the end of my 12th grade year, after I finished all my schooling, on the very last day of school, what we do is at an evening ceremony, we will have all of the high schoolers wear this gown that is red and then this cap as well. What this gown and cap signifies is that I'm a graduate from my school, and this stole means that I was a national honor member in my school. So I had high enough grades to join this honor society, and now I get extra credit at graduation, essentially just for having high marks.
Oh, so not everybody has this blue.
Yes,
okay.
these were super high marks, the blue, and so there were only a total of 5 people in my graduation ceremony that had a blue stole. Everybody else did not have this blue one, and so out of 878 students, I was the one of 5 students that had this.
Oh. So we'll be showing the video. It's done in a stadium or like a ground, right?
Yes.
And
so,
you walk the aisle now, right? They say you walk the aisle, right?
Yeah.
So 800 plus students ഇങ്ങനെ നടന്നു വന്നിട്ട് അവരുടെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പാളിന്റെ you get the graduation certificate. And Justin was telling me, so this is the scroll. The certificate comes in this. So the certificate is not inside it because there's a lot of verification. Checking it. Can you please tell us?
So whenever we actually go through graduation, anybody can, so you apply for the graduation process and then make sure that you're actually qualified for graduation. So any credits you have taken in your previous semesters, making sure that they're valid and accounted for in your total graduation. However, whenever you're going through the graduation process, you're taking classes for your final semester. So those grades aren't submitted yet. There's still the chance that you might mess up a class, you might drop a class, or even fail a class. So because that's unknown, they allow you to actually walk the ceremony. So similar to Ryan, we have all of these students walking down the procession, and they get seated in their chairs and they'll go through and walk the stage. So whenever we're walking the stage, the dean of our college, the College of Engineering in my case, he hands us this tube. And so inside of the tube is actually nothing. So if I open it, you can see that there's nothing inside. And that's exactly how it was during my graduation ceremony. So we walk across and take pictures with our tube and show it off to everybody thinking that we've graduated, when reality is we haven't officially graduated just yet. So once everything is verified and then they make sure that all of your classes are accounted for, then a few weeks later they actually mail it to you. So I got a second tube. That one actually has this degree right here.
Oh.
Yeah,
we can look this up.
Yeah, so what does it say?
So this one signifies that I have graduated from Texas A&M, Texas Agricultural Mechanical University, with a degree in mechanical engineering, and also has my honors in there. So in my case, it says that I graduated with cum laude honors.
Oh, very good. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മളൊരു ഡോക്ടറിന്റെ ഓഫീസിൽ പോവാണെങ്കിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പം ഇദ്ദേഹം ഒരു ജോലി കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഇത് ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. സോ ഹിയർ ഇറ്റ്സ് എ പ്രൗഡ് തിങ്. എന്റെ ഓർമ്മകൾ ഇതിലേക്ക് പിന്നിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നത് ഞാൻ 1 മുതൽ 10 വരെ പഠിച്ചതിനിടയ്ക്ക് 6 സ്കൂൾ മാറി. 5ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ടീച്ചറിന്റെ ഏതോ സിസ്റ്ററിന്റെ അകത്ത് മഷി ഒഴിച്ചെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അവിടെ നിന്ന് തോപ്പിച്ചു. പാലായി ചെന്ന് SSLCക്ക് പാസ്സാകുക എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത് ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇദ്ദേഹം പാസ്സായ കാര്യം എല്ലാ പേരൻസും the whole parents come for this graduation, right? It's a big celebration. നമ്മൾ SSLCക്ക് പാസ്സാകുന്നത് അവിടെ ബോർഡ് ഡിസ്പ്ലേ എഴുതി നോക്കും ജയിച്ചില്ല എന്നുള്ള പേടിച്ചാണ് നമ്മൾ പോകുന്നത്. ഇവരെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഇവിടുത്തെ ഗ്രാജുവേഷന് പേരൻസ് പോയി it's a jamboree. It's like a big Tony and Minu. Their parents we had a big party for the whole community here. We had a grand function.
Yeah.
We had a grand function for both their it's a dual celebration. So next, Justin is going to explain. He's hiding a ring. Tell us the story about this ring. This one. So that's American white gold, right?
Yeah. So this is American gold. This is a 16 karat ring, and so at a lot of universities here, they have what's called a class ring. And so this class ring signifies the fact that you achieve senior status at your university. So A&M takes it a little bit further. So here at Texas A&M, it's a very big deal to get what's called your Aggie ring.
Aggie. How do you spell it?
Aggie. So Texas A&M, if you go there, you're called an Aggie. And that
So do you
signifies...
every 800 who are passed will have to buy it, or it's part of the, or you have to buy it?
So
it's
you
an
have to-
honorary thing.
It's an honorary thing, so it's a custom. So it's not part of the schooling system itself, but it's a very big tradition. So you can choose to partake in it if you so choose to, but for the most part, majority of students do. So if you qualify, that means by getting 90 credit hours and a GPA of above 3.2, you're able
So
to...
GPA grade point average, that's a big deal here, right? So what is the highest you can get? 4?
4.0
That's
in
the max.
university.
Yes.
That's the max.
In university.
In university.
Yeah,
In
so,
schools?
In high school, it's up to the high school and the independent school district to determine which GPA scale you use. So, for example, my GPA was out of 7.0, But Justin's here was out of 4.0 because he goes to university. University is on a more standard level, so it's because they have to compare it nationwide. But high schools can be done locally, and so that's why it can be on any scale.
So did we complete the ring story yet?
Oh, there's a little bit more to it.
Turn
So with the Aggie ring, it's a very proud symbol, and it's a way for other Aggies to recognize them, that another person graduated from A&M.
Okay.
So if you go out in public in Texas, you'll more than likely see somebody wearing the Aggie ring. They're very proud of the fact that they graduated from Texas A&M.
So Texas ഒരു വലിയ സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. അമേരിക്കയിലുള്ള 50 സംസ്ഥാനങ്ങളിലെ വലിയ സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ മോതിരം ധരിച്ച് ആരെങ്കിലും വഴി കാണുകയാണ്, that means especially Houston area, you will find at least 1 out of 20 person wearing this because it's an honorary pride thing to wear it. You know. Another thing I want to say is, like, he passed the 12th grade. So from the 11th grade onwards, he had been looking to prepare to go to college, right?
Yes.
He started doing SAT or college preparatory tests.
Well, all of my actual preparation and exam taking happened during my 11th grade year.
11ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പഠിക്കുമ്പോഴേ കോളേജിൽ പോകാനുള്ള തയ്യാറെടുപ്പ് തുടങ്ങി കഴിഞ്ഞു. പുള്ളി പാസ്സായിട്ടില്ല, പുള്ളി റാങ്ക് ഹോൾഡർ ആണ്. പക്ഷെ ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ഇവിടെ 11ാം ക്ലാസ്സിലെ കോളേജിൽ പോകുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ച് they started the scholastic academic preparation already.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And then after my 11th grade year, during the summer, in the months of June and July, that is when I applied to college. And then when I begin my 12th grade year, I will have to just keep making sure through all my emails that my colleges have either accepted me or not accepted me. But I don't actually have to do too much college preparation work during my final year at high school.
So final year വരുമ്പം already പണികളൊക്കെ തീർത്ത കാരണം പുള്ളിക്ക് ഒരു ഈസി ട്രാക്കാണ്. It's an easy transition from school to college. So that's it. So have you gotten admission to any college yet?
Yes. So I've fortunately been admitted into the University of Texas in Austin.
Hey, congratulations
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
Yes, that's a good news.
I will be studying computer science in the fall, and I hope to become a software engineer afterwards.
Software engineer ആകാനാണ് അദ്ദേഹം ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്. Just like your dad, right?
Yes.
His dad is an engineer too. And what's your track of field? What are you going to do? Mechanical engineering?
So I graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering, and in August I will be starting at Phillips 66 as a midstream operations engineer in Amarillo.
Oh, good. So what's your profession going to be?
So we have a series of pipelines in our specific region that we're maintaining and making sure that they work to their standards and their specifications. And if we have additional clients coming on, we're trying to see if we can add new clients into our pipelines. So we're just making sure that the pipelines are working as intended, making sure that their integrity is up to standards, and just making sure that overall the process is safe for everybody, and we're making sure that the oil and gas is going from one person to another.
So Houston is an oil town. So he's very smart. He's into a field where that's going to be, job market is pretty good.
Very safe.
Very
yeah.
safe. So വളരെ സ്മാർട്ടാണ്, പുള്ളിയുടെ കരിയർ സേഫ് ആണ്. ഹി ഹസ് ഡൺ സ്റ്റഡീസ് ഇൻ എ ഫീൽഡ്. അത് പുള്ളിക്ക് ജോലി കിട്ടുന്ന ഗ്യാരണ്ടി ഉള്ള ഒരു ഫീൽഡിലേക്കാണ് അദ്ദേഹം എത്തപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. So anyway, I interrupted again. We'll go back. Tell me about the turning part of the ring. Yes, I apologize.
So the Aggie ring, big tradition here. So if you can see it close up, there's the symbol of an eagle with your class year on it. So in my case, it has the eagle with the number 21 on the bottom because I graduated in 2021. So whenever you get your ring, so in my case, I got it during my junior year. So I had gone above and I had gotten 90 credit hours to signify that I was a senior a little bit earlier than some typically do. So whenever I got the ring, I would take it and I would put it on with my class ring and my eagle facing me. That means that I'm still a student at Texas A&M. However, whenever you graduate from Texas A&M, you take your ring off and you turn it around the other way with your class year and your eagle facing the world. This is to signify the fact that the Aggies are ready to face the world.
ആഗീസ് എന്നുള്ള ആ നാമം രേഖപ്പെടുത്തിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഈ മോതിരം ഈഗിൾ ഉണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പുള്ളി ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത വർഷം 2021 പുള്ളി ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. ഇത് ധരിക്കുന്നതിന് ഒരു രീതിയുണ്ട്. പള്ളിക്കുടത്തി പുള്ളിക്ക് 90 സെമസ്റ്റർ അവേഴ്സ്, യു നീഡ് 120 സെമസ്റ്റർ അവേഴ്സ് ടു ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ്, റൈറ്റ്? 120. അപ്പൊ പുള്ളിക്ക് 90 ആകുമ്പോഴേ പുള്ളിക്ക് റിങ് കിട്ടും. അപ്പൊ റിങ് പുള്ളിയെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ധരിക്കുന്നത്. ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആകുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഹോൾ ക്രൗഡ് ടേൺസ് ഇറ്റ് ടുഗദർ, റൈറ്റ്? അപ്പം ആ ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആയ മൊമെന്റിൽ അവർ പറയും മേ ബി ദ ഡീൻ വിൽ അനൗൺസ് ആൻഡ് ദ ഹോൾ ക്ലാസ് വിൽ ടേൺ ഇറ്റ് അറൌണ്ട് ആൻഡ് പുട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഫേസിങ് ലോകത്തിനെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഞങ്ങൾ റെഡിയാണ്, ലോകത്തെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ റെഡിയാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് അവരത് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് പിന്നെ വേൾഡിനെ ഫേസ്, അതായത് ഇപ്പൊ ക്യാമറ ഫേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്ന പോലെ അങ്ങനെ ഇടുന്ന ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ തന്നെയാണ്. അപ്പൊ അതിനെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത്. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത്, ഇപ്പൊ ഇതിനെല്ലാം ഉപരിയായിട്ട് ഒരു സംഭവം ഇവിടെ നടന്നു. അപ്പം ഇവര് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ആൻസി ആദ്യം പറഞ്ഞു ഇവര് സെലിബ്രിറ്റീസ് ആണ്, സെൻസേഷൻ ആണ്, ഇവിടെ ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ പിള്ളേർ ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പം ടോണി, എന്റെ ഒരു സുഹൃത്തും കൂടെ, അതാണ് ടോണി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ഫാമിലി ഫ്രണ്ട് ആണ് അദ്ദേഹം. He loves them to death. He speaks so proudly. The whole Indian community are very proud of them. So he put a board. Let them explain what it is. So let's hear the story from them.
So Dad, being a proud father that he was, he wanted to make some signs to congratulate the both of us. We had done this previously for some of the graduates in our community, congratulating them. But it's a big accomplishment to have two graduates at the same time. So Dad made one sign for Ryan, and it said Ryan Parapuram, and he wanted to, showcase the fact that Ryan had been fortunate enough to graduate at the top of his class. So at the bottom, he put valedictorian. And then, looking at his next son, one who had graduated from college, he put Justin Parapuram graduating Texas A&M Mechanical Engineering, and at the very bottom, Ryan graduated valedictorian. How did Justin graduate? Well, he graduated not valedictorian. And so it became this little joke that we had comparing both of us to one another, one being the valedictorian, one being the not valedictorian. And so I taken the opportunity and I posted it onto Twitter, making the joke that, Dad promises that he doesn't have any favorites. And it blew up. And so it got plenty of retweets, it got plenty of likes. I think it accumulated 350,000 likes. And that's seen on Twitter alone more than 18 million times.
18 മില്യൺ ട്വീറ്റ് ആണ് ഇവരുടെ ഒരു പടം ഇട്ടതിന് കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. 18 മില്യൺ, ദാറ്റ്സ് എ ലോട്ട്. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് തിങ്ക് ഇൻ ഹോളിവുഡ് സെലിബ്രിറ്റീസ് വോണ്ട് ഡു ദാറ്റ് ഓവർനൈറ്റ്. സോ സംഭവിച്ചെന്നാന്ന് ഞാൻ യത്ന ചുരുക്കം പെട്ടെന്ന് പറയാം. ഇദ്ദേഹം ഹൈസ്കൂളിൽ നിന്ന് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ആയി, വാലഡിക്ടോറിയൻ, നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ 1ാം റാങ്ക് ഹോൾഡർ. അത് പുള്ളി ഇവിടെ ഈ യാർഡ്, നമ്മുടെ വീടിന്റെ ഫ്രണ്ട് വശത്ത് ഒരു ഗാർഡൻ ഉണ്ട്, അവിടെ ഇങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് വി കൻ മേക്ക് യാർഡ് സ്റ്റിക്സ് അല്ലെ, വേർ ഡിഡ് ദേ മേക്ക് ഇറ്റ്, ലൈക്ക് മേ ബി
ഇങ്ങനെ സൈൻ പോലെ, ഇങ്ങനെ റാങ്കുകാരനാണ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് മാരീഡ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടില് സൈൻ വെക്കും അല്ലെ,
ഈവൻ ഹാപ്പി ബർത്ത്ഡേ പോലും. എസ്പെഷ്യലി കോവിഡ് കാലത്ത് ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ, ഐ റിമെമ്പർ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ യുവർ സീനിയേഴ്സ് ഡ്രൈവ് ബൈ പാർട്ടി, വി വർ ഡ്രൈവിംഗ് ബൈ, കാരണം അവർ ഇതുപോലത്തെ ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷനും ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. സോ അപ്പം എല്ലാ യാർഡിന്റെ ഫ്രണ്ടിൽ കുറെ ബലൂണൊക്കെ കുത്തി, അപ്പം
ഒരു വലിയൊരു പോസ്റ്റർ
വയ്ക്കും.
അപ്പോ ഒരു പോസ്റ്ററിൽ, അപ്പൊ ഇവരുടെ ഡാഡ് ഒരു 2 പോസ്റ്റർ ഉണ്ടാക്കി. ഒരു പോസ്റ്ററില് ഫസ്റ്റ് റാങ്കുകാരൻ എന്ന് എഴുതി വെച്ചു, അതായത് ബ്രയാന്റെ ഫോട്ടോ വെച്ചിട്ട് അതിന്റെ താഴെ ഫസ്റ്റ് റാങ്കുകാരൻ എന്ന് എഴുതി വെച്ചു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ജസ്റ്റിന്റെ ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്ത് ഒരു ബാനർ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് അതിന്റെ താഴെ ഫസ്റ്റ് റാങ്കുകാരനല്ല എന്ന് എഴുതി വെച്ചു. അത് തമാശക്ക് എഴുതിയതാണ്. അപ്പൊ അത് ജസ്റ്റ്
ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്ത് ട്വിറ്ററിലിട്ടു. അപ്പം ഇവിടെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ അത് took it along and then they started retweeting. So you said 350,000?
Yeah, so on Twitter alone it had gotten 350,000 likes. But then I only posted it to Twitter, but other people had taken they had taken the time to share it onto Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Every social media had seen it at some point. And so I only had posted it in one location, but it had blown up to the point where everybody was sharing it in their communities, their friend groups, their little circles, and so
now the question is, why was it retweeted? What is the mentality of the American public versus, and coming from India? I remember I had won a lot of accolades in my school time, not even one prize ceremony or my parents never attended, or any of my relatives. But here it's not like that. You go with this, there are soccer moms who take their children for soccer playing. Were you trained in any games, swimming or anything?
Yes. So growing up, I did football in elementary and middle school, and I did basketball and swimming as well. And for all 3 of those sports, my parents would come to watch all of my games, come to my swim meets, make sure I got to practice on time. They would make sure I was driven everywhere. Even if my friends needed rides, my friends' parents would do the same for me, or my parents would do the same for them. My parents were always really involved with my academics and extracurriculars.
വളരെ ഇൻവോൾവ് ആണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ പേരൻസ്. കുട്ടികളോട് 24 മണിക്കൂർ, നമ്മളൊക്കെ നാട്ടിൽ പറയല്ലോ ഇവിടെ അമേരിക്ക, they abandon children. No, they don't abandon. They are 24/7 with their children. So in this situation, so when he tweeted, it was a joke. But the American public took it very seriously, and then what was the? I'm asking the question, why? Why did they react it that way? The joke was out of proportion, blown out of proportion.
So I would say, speaking on the Indian culture first, in America, a lot of Indian teenagers and kids typically have their parents compare them to each other. And so a lot of teenagers that are Indian, they don't really like getting compared to one another, and that kind of translates back to the American culture as well. American culture, even between parents and the teens, they know that you should never try to ever compare your children, as that can really put one child's feelings down. And since you never want to do that, when people saw that on our tweet that my dad was essentially comparing me, the valedictorian, to my brother who is not valedictorian, they thought that my dad was putting down my brother and that he was praising me for being almighty or something as such as that. But in reality, that wasn't the case, because it started off as a joke that my brother made to my dad. And then my brother was the one who actually made the signs that said valedictorian and not valedictorian. So it wasn't like my dad was trying to praise me in the public image or to put down my brother. In fact, it was just a lighthearted joke that Justin put out for the public so that everyone can get a chuckle out of. But in the end, it turned out that a lot of people did not get the joke, and they were very upset with me for being valedictorian and my dad for comparing us to children.
Yeah. So I also want to say, even yesterday, we played volleyball, and Tony made sure he brought his eldest son along. So, the story is otherwise. But another thing about it is, in America, I think he's a debater, right?
Yes, that's right. I did debate for 3 years in high school, but due to the COVID pandemic, I was unable to debate in my final year of high school.
And what, you were good at some, I remember you.
I also did debate in high school.
So you're debaters, so they're excellent students, they excelled and they're exemplary. ഇവിടെയുള്ള മലയാളികൾക്കും ഇന്ത്യൻസിനൊക്കെ ഒരു മാതൃകയാണ്. അപ്പം ഇന്നത്തെ ദിവസം, as we conclude, we just want to say a big thank you and congratulations on behalf of everybody. And just to we'll be
help, then I would assign students from my club to go help out in the community. Outside of school, though, those three were all school activities. I was also involved with my local hospital. I volunteered at the Cypress Fairbanks Medical Center a few times for over a few summers, and I have also been a RISE team leader at my church. Sorry. What that means is that for middle schoolers who were in the youth at my church, they were learning more about Jesus and the Christ, and then I was there to also teach them and lead them as they walked around from place to place at my church every single week.
Ryan is also a computer genius. I had a Mac computer. I tried to take it to Apple Store, asked many engineers around, they couldn't fix it. I gave the opportunity for him, and he offered to help. He did it. So പുള്ളി ഒരു ജീനിയസ് ആണ്. നമുക്കൊക്കെ ഒരു അനുഗ്രഹമാണ് പുള്ളിയുടെ ഒരു പ്രസൻസും. And they're very well behaved children, and we are very proud of them. And we once again, on behalf of the entire our YouTube channel, we congratulate you, and also we thank you for coming over. And this was a very big honor to tell the world. It's actually dispelling the darkness. A lot of Indians would be watching this because we don't have this kind of opportunity. They don't know how we can be happy about being graduate than being just a workforce. You just graduate and go back to work is the thing. So that is a certificate to work. Here it's also, last question is, how are you going to celebrate? Is there any chance of any traveling celebration or any?
Yeah. I guess I'll go first just because since I'm younger. I graduated high school, and again, that is a big accomplishment. And so what my parents have done is that they have decided that it would be okay if I go on a vacation with some of my friends. And so this summer, I am going to Mexico with some of my friends from high school that I've grown up with and my parents have gotten to know over the past 4 years. And so we will be taking a week-long vacation on the beaches of Mexico, just relaxing by ourselves and having a good time.
Hey, what about you, boss?
So I will be going on a month-long road trip starting next week with my girlfriend. We're going to be driving through the south coast of the United States, so traveling through Louisiana and Florida, and then driving up the East Coast through the Carolinas, Virginia, DC, going to New York, and then stopping in Massachusetts, near the Boston area, where we have a beach house in the spot.
And so for both of us, once we finish our respective vacations, that is when we will then start getting ready to go to, for me, I'll be going to university, and then Justin...
we'll be working for Phillips 66 in Amarillo.
So ഇവരുടെ parents, thank God, they are very supportive. So അദ്ദേഹം ഇത് സെലിബ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് തൊട്ടടുത്ത രാജ്യമായ മെക്സിക്കോയുടെ ബീച്ചുകൾ സന്ദർശിച്ചാണ് ഒരാഴ്ചത്തെ ഒരു ടൂർ കുട്ടികളോടൊപ്പം. ഇവരുടെ parents are also friends with his friends' parents, so that is they have a big bond. I have known that, and he's going to do a month-long driving tour of America. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം അവരൊക്കെ വലിയ സാഹസിക യാത്രയ്ക്ക് മുതിരുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു നല്ല സന്ദേശത്തോടു കൂടി നമുക്ക് ഈ സെഷൻ പിരിയാൻ. ആൻസിക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും പറയാനുണ്ടോ?
അല്ല, എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ ഇന്ത്യൻസിന് തന്നെ ഭയങ്കര പ്രൗഡാണ് ഇതുപോലത്തെ കുട്ടികള്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലും ഇതുപോലത്തെ കുട്ടികൾക്കൊക്കെ ഇതൊരു പ്രചോദനമാകുമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ വിചാരിക്കുകയാണ്. കാരണം അവരൊരു വലിയ അച്ചീവ്മെന്റ് ആണ് അവരുടെ ലൈഫിൽ ചെയ്തു തീർത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഭയങ്കര ജീനിയസ് ആണല്ലേ നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തു നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ രണ്ട് കുട്ടികൾ ഭയങ്കര ജീനിയസ് ആയിട്ട് അമേരിക്കയിൽ വന്ന് ഈ ഒരു പൊസിഷനിൽ നിൽക്കുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, അത് കാണുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഭയങ്കര സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ എനിവേ, സോ ഗ്രേറ്റ്ഫുൾ ആൻഡ് വി ആർ സോ ലക്കി ടു ഹാവ് ദം.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We just want to say thank you guys so much for high praises. Thank you for everything that y'all have done.
Thank you for having us here for this interview. It's so
been a
nice to be able to
privilege.
speak about our experiences here in the high school and university.
We hope that everyone can appreciate, hopefully enjoy their own achievements as well, because it's been great being here, but I know everybody else has had their one. So in American universities and public high schools, we have the ceremony at the end of the graduation where we have this little thing called a tassel. And the tassel is part of your school, it's part of your university. It's typically in the colors of your either college or high school itself. But at the end of graduation ceremonies, it starts on the right side and then we move it to the left side. And that's done to signify that we have in fact graduated from the program that we've been spending our 4 years.
And then after we move the tassel, the final ceremony in all American universities and high schools is to take off your cap, and then we throw them up in the air. Very, very, very high. Sometimes some people even lose their caps, actually.
Yeah, I've seen that. They just throw it up and then.
Yes.
I've lost my high school cap. I don't know where it is anymore.
So I made sure to keep this one after I threw mine up. I went searching for it to go grab it.
You have any name on it? No, huh?
No. Some students can choose to decorate the top, but I chose not to. I wanted to keep it simple and classic.
So this gown will be with you forever.
Yes, I get to keep this forever. I will probably like to frame it in my house when I grow up and get my own home. Alarum, please watch and subscribe to Auntie Auntie's channel.
Room. Please subscribe to Auntie Auntie's channel.